guys, it's Bro You Whack, and why does Overwatch 2's PVE look like this? Ew! So I'm trying my hardest not to become a professional hater when it comes to Overwatch 2 PVE mode, because, surprise, surprise, I genuinely want PVE and story missions to succeed in Overwatch 2. But after watching the PVE livestream a couple of days ago and seeing a sneak preview of PVE, it's just looking not good after waiting 3.5 years for this mode. And that's honestly my biggest problem when seeing not only the live stream, but just when it comes to PvE in general, is the 3.5 year time window of getting something originally promised back in 2019, them showing us what PvE could look like in 2019, and then them canceling that original promise, and then giving us this. What you're watching right now is PvE, is story missions, is the lore-based game mode that we're going to be getting with Season 6 when it comes out on August 10th. And if it seems like the gameplay is very awkward, if it just seems very lifeless, well, that was my same reaction. Like, why is Brigitte and Torbjorn looking at the spaceship and not having any single reaction or not having any voice lines or interaction? Why is the robot just standing there with very little animation? It's like, what is going on here? And look, I'm not trying to judge PvE just based on these two quote-unquote animated cutscenes, but when you have this 3.5 year window of working on story missions, and again, you canceled that original promise of having a complete story mode with hero trees and replayability, and you give us this, yeah, it's gonna lead to a lot of question marks and nitpicking because you did have 3.5 years to work on this mode, and when you bring out some gameplay that looks like it belongs back in 2019, like it belongs in the beta version of Overwatch 2 PvE, yeah, again, people are gonna get disappointed, and that's exactly what happened. Now, two things I do want to say when it comes to the Gothenburg PvE mission. The first of which is that this artwork is not final. Maybe this was the beta version that they were working on back in 2020 or 2021, and they were just showing it to us so that when the final product comes out, that we're super blown away and super amazed by their hard work. And the second thing is that this is a story mode. They don't want to tell the full story to us, including the mission with Gothenburg, with Torbjorn, Reinhardt, and Brigitte. And I understand that they don't want to give us all the interactions in this trailer because, well, they don't want to spoil anything. But the thing is, though, Blizzard really doesn't have the luxury of not wanting to spoil their story missions when they lead their audience for 3.5 years and only talking about PvE less than a handful of times in that time frame. Like, I legit think only 2 or 3 times that they talked about PvE where they showed something meaningful. So when I bring up the artwork or the animation or the storytelling or the lack of interactions or the soulless gameplay that I'm looking at on the screen, that's not really what I'm trying to nitpick here and make my point about. It's the 3.5 year time frame and them not talking about it and them trying to bring something like this that is very lackluster and expecting us to be excited and hyped. And look, the current team at Blizzard is trying their best to try to work with what they were given from the original regime from Overwatch that just totally botched this whole entire thing. Like, if it was up to the team right now, they would not have announced Overwatch 2 or PvE or anything like that back in 2019. They would have announced it in like 2021 or better yet 2022 so that they had a year to market the game properly and announce things when they felt comfortable when it was done and ready. So while I do appreciate their efforts of trying to market this game, they're also still dropping the ball here because during that live stream when showcasing the Gothenburg mission, which just does not look great, they also spent a great majority of that PvE segment talking about the Rio mission, and they already talked about this back in 2019. They already showed everything when it comes to Rio. In fact, I already played this mission. Like, this was the playable mission back at BlizzCon 2019, and they're acting as if people don't know about it. And maybe they don't. Maybe people don't know about the Rio mission because there are a lot more Overwatch 2 players that never played Overwatch 1, and they probably never seen the Rio PvE mission, but they spent a good portion of this time that should have been talking about what we haven't seen before, talking about Rio, talking about the map, talking about this mission that people have already played. Like the boss in Rio, which is this big giant transformer, Omnic, they made it seem like, oh, this is a brand new enemy that we're gonna fight. Doug, we already beat that guy 3 years ago. He's in the trenches right now. He's 6 feet under. Why are you spending so much time talking about this Rio mission when we already beat it? We already seen everything about this mission, like Echo flying the plane. Wait, why is Brigitte flying the plane? The animation looks exactly the same too. Like, this is what I've been saying for the past couple of years when it comes to marketing this game being totally piss poor. Like, they're not really showing us anything that is great or meaningful when it comes to PvE. Like, I think a good comparison when it comes to showing meaningful gameplay that gets the majority of your audience excited is seeing what Insomniac did with Spider-Man 2 when they showed off the brand new Venom suit and his new powers where they're absolutely demolishing the enemy and showing a new part of New York City. That's what gets the audience excited. That's meaningful gameplay. And then on flip side, when you look at Overwatch 2 PVE Livestream, they're showing a mission that takes place on Gothenburg, which is a map that was already shown back at BlizzCon 2019, just at snippets and trailers, where they have heroes that aren't at all brand new, fighting enemies that were the same exact enemies in the Rio mission back in 2019, and the only thing that was truly brand new was going into Torbjorn's warehouse where he had a bunch of turrets firing off May freezes and were pushing enemies in lava. And unless you love to dive into the deep lore of Torbjorn and May, where they possibly have a baby and make a May turret, this is not really gonna bring a lot of excitement. I'm sorry, it's just not. Look, I said it once and I'll say it again. I understand this was a live stream where they didn't want to show us everything and this artwork is not finalized. But that doesn't mean the Overwatch community is gonna have a positive reaction whenever you just give them anything, because they've been led on for 3.5 years. And it's not like we're incapable of positive reactions, because just like 20 minutes after they show off PvE, they showed off the new game mode Flashpoint, and that was the highlight of this live stream. I mean, shoot, when I saw Flashpoint, I was excited because yes, this looks like a very great and unique core game mode that's going to be a great addition to the rotation within competitive. It tickled my spots where I wanted to be tickled that PvE should have been doing for the past 3 years. But what makes this live stream even more disappointing is the fact that they're not even being super transparent when it comes to the pricing of PvE. People are left for videos like this or to read it in specific blogs to know what the pricing is, rather than just hearing it from Blizzard's mouth. And it's because Blizzard knows people would be upset when it comes to the pricing, knowing that it's going to be bundled into a $15 bundle or a $40 bundle, which just does not sound great. And I wonder why. It's probably because consumers aren't really going to have a positive reaction knowing that they're going to get a product that doesn't look all that exciting. Here's the thing that Blizzard just doesn't seem to understand. People are willing to spend money. Shoot, I'll even say people would be excited to give them money knowing that the money is going to get them a great product. But when you're selling us 3 PvE missions for $15, even if it's cheaper compared to like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or Spider-Man 2, which both are $70, even though it's significantly cheaper and you're quote unquote getting a better deal, people feel like they're not getting a good deal because they're not getting a good product in return, or at least it doesn't seem like it when you're showing us stuff like this. And I really hope I can eat my words and be wrong when Invasion comes out on August 10th with these 3 campaign missions, but just thinking about it, spending $15 for 3 campaign missions, even though you're getting 1,000 Overwatch tokens and some skins along with the 3 campaign missions, we waited for PvE, not for more Overwatch 2 coins and skins. And that's the most disappointing part. Normally I like to end things off on a positive note, and one thing I will say is that when it comes to PvP, they have been killing it. I mean, they're gonna add new heroes, new maps, new game modes, new skins, the battle passes are gonna be great, but when it comes to the thing that we were all excited about originally, this is the biggest letdown, and that's gonna feed into PvP and when it comes to the excitement for that, because I'll be honest, if they never announced or talked about PvE for Overwatch 2, people would be hyped about PvE. It's just unfortunate because the whole reason of Overwatch 2 existing was for the story mode, and hopefully I can eat my words here in a couple of days because man, I'm hungry for something, so whether it's my words or PvE, I need to be fed. But until then, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.